In today's world, we depend heavily on chips or microprocessors for nearly everything, from phones to computers to cars. But making these chips is far from simple. In fact, it's one of the most hardest and complex processes in modern manufacturing. It all started in the 1960s with an engineer named Gordon Moore. He noticed that the number of components or transistors in chips was growing rapidly every year. This trend, now known as Moore's Law, predicted that computing power would double about every 2 years, and this has largely come true. But keeping up with Moore's Law has gotten extremely difficult because with every new chip generation, the technology, equipment, and money needed grow massively. Today, making a single high-end chip requires hundreds of specialized steps and no one company handles it all. Companies in the industry often focus on specific parts of the process, such as designing the chip or fabricating it, which involves printing tiny circuits onto silicon wafers. The cost of the machines and facilities for fabrication is so high that only a few companies like TSMC have the resources to keep up with on the latest tech. One big challenge in the industry is the limited number of companies that can make these advanced chips. For instance, TSMC is the global leader in chip production, and ASML, a Dutch company, is the only one in the world that makes the high-end machines used to create these chips. This concentration of power creates bottlenecks, meaning if something happens to these companies, it could disrupt the entire tech industry. Finally, there are also geopolitical issues. The United States, Europe, and China all depend on chips for their tech industries, and they're each investing billions of dollars to become less dependent on foreign chip manufacturers. China, especially, is trying to catch up, as they currently make only a small fraction of the chips they need. In summary, chip making is challenging because it requires extremely advanced technology, a massive investment of money, and it relies on just a few key companies and countries. This concentration of power and expertise makes the industry both fascinating and fragile, affecting everything from our gadgets to global politics. Reflecting on why chip making is so challenging, I realized how much more complex this industry is than I originally thought. It's not just about designing circuits and processors, it's about tackling major barriers in manufacturing, technology, and even global politics. One thing that stands out to me is the amount of specialization needed. Each step from chip design to fabrication requires massive resources and deep expertise. It's almost like each step forms a separate industry of its own, and only a few companies in the world can master all of them. This means that most chip companies can't even afford to make their own products from start to finish. They're often forced to outsource to specialized companies like TSMC, creating dependency. Another interesting insight is how this technology isn't just impacting consumer products like phones and computers. It's influencing entire economies and governments. Countries are now heavily investing to ensure they have some control over chip manufacturing. This dependency on just a few major players has also led to political tensions, with countries realizing how vital chip technology is for security and self-sufficiency. So, looking at the chip industry today, it's clear why only a few companies can stay competitive. The industry's intense demands for money, skill, and cutting-edge technology create huge barriers, making this one of the toughest but most impactful fields in tech. This complexity makes me appreciate every device I use, knowing it takes an entire global ecosystem to create these powerful little things. When I think about how tiny components in our phones and computers are made, photolithography really stands out as an amazing process. It's incredible to realize that the tiny circuits inside a device are created by printing shapes with light onto a silicon wafer. Photolithography comes from Greek words meaning light writing on stone. This method started way back in 1855 with Alphonse Potovon, who used light to transfer images, an approach we still use today but with much more advanced technology. Here's how it works. First, a silicon wafer is prepped to remove any contamination. Then, a thin layer of photoresist, special light-sensitive material, is spread evenly over the wafer. Next, a mask with a circuit design is placed over it, and UV light shines through the mask, leaving a pattern on the wafer. The exposed areas change chemically, making it possible to wash away parts of the photoresist. This leaves behind a pattern that will form the chip's circuit. The process is repeated layer by layer until the entire circuit is created. Over the years, photolithography has evolved to create incredibly fine details. Today, fluoride-based lasers allow us to print components with features as small as 14 nanometers, making circuits smaller, faster, and more powerful. Thanks to photolithography, tech companies can pack more transistors into chips, boosting processing power without increasing the size of our devices. This process has changed a lot since Otto Vaughn's time and continues to shape modern technology. It's incredible to think about the journey of creating a CPU, a core part of the technology we use every day. It starts with a circuit diagram, carefully designed by engineers around the world. From there, the process moves into manufacturing, using something that might surprise you: sand. Pure quartz sand is melted and shaped into silicon wafers, which are the base material for microchips. These wafers are then carefully transported to clean rooms that are thousands of times cleaner than an operating room to keep out any dust or particles that could damage the chips. One of the main steps in creating a CPU is photolithography, where patterns are etched onto the silicon wafer using light and a photosensitive coating. This process forms billions of tiny transistors that act like switches to control electrical signals in the chips. Then comes ion implantation, where special atoms are placed onto the silicon, giving it specific electrical properties to help the transistors work. To connect all these transistors, tiny copper wires are laid down. This step is critical because it links billions of transistors together, forming the pathways that allow the CPU to process information. After that, electron microscopes inspect the wafer on an atomic level to make sure everything is perfect. Finally, the chips are cut out from the wafer and packaged. A method called flip chip bonding attaches the chip to its frame and it's sealed with a cover. After around 2 months of careful manufacturing and inspection, the CPU is ready. All of this happens in advanced factories around the world, including those run by companies like GlobalFoundries. The amount of precision and the advanced technology required to make something so small yet so powerful is truly mind-blowing. The journey of creating a CPU reminds me of how far technology has come and how much expertise is behind the devices we use every day. It's amazing to see how many new opportunities there are in the tech world. Currently, there are millions of tech jobs open and people from all backgrounds are moving into tech roles. Learning the right skills now could open up a lot of career paths. So, reflecting from the future trends, here's my breakdown from each trend stated. Starting from number 10, blockchain is becoming big beyond just cryptocurrency. It's being used in finance and supply chains, and companies like IBM and Microsoft are hiring experts in this area. Then at number 9, augmented reality or AR and virtual reality or VR are creating immersive experiences in everything from gaming to medical training. Companies like Meta and Google are actively seeking specialists. At number 8, we have IoT or Internet of Things. IoT allows everyday devices to be smart and connect with each other, making life more convenient. Major companies like Amazon and Apple are expanding their IoT teams. Moving to number 7, 5G technology will impact fields like telemedicine and autonomous vehicles with its fast data speeds, and it's still evolving. Number 6 on the list is machine learning, which powers everything from recommendation engines to fraud detection. It's in high demand across tech giants like Google and Amazon. Cybersecurity takes the 5th spot. crucial as digital threats continue to rise. Cybersecurity skills are vital to protecting our data, and companies are looking for skilled professionals. At number 4 is edge computing, which processes data closer to its source, reducing delays. With more people relying on instant information, edge computing is key for fast and efficient tech. In third place, biotechnology is advancing healthcare and agriculture with applications like gene editing and personalized medicine. Then, we have quantum computing at number 2, a groundbreaking field that could solve complex problems at lightning speeds. Tech leaders like IBM and Google are exploring its possibilities. And finally, at number 1, artificial intelligence or AI continues to grow. AI powers tools like virtual assistants, self-driving cars, and medical diagnosis. Nearly every tech company is looking for AI experts because it's transforming almost every industry. Overall, these technologies are shaping the future, and gaining expertise in any of them could lead to exciting career opportunities. Staying curious and open to learning will be essential as these fields continue to develop.